Thank you very much, Salto, as well, for providing me this opportunity to share my experience of Beyond the Barriers in the field of civil society, and especially in the inclusion and diversity projects. I will share the screen because I prepared a short presentation, and just, okay. Okay. My name is Ana Dervishi, and I'm from Albania and from Beyond the Barriers organization. And it was very interesting to prepare this presentation because I saw that there was a lot of things to share, and I have to be selective. So it was even a process of reflection for us, which reflection is very good element. It's a tool in our work to reflect in what we do, and of course to improve our work and to do better for the community. Well, Beyond the Barriers, it's an organization with 17 years of experience. And I'll try to summarize it and to make some key points in the presentation about what was our path and how we built all our experience. And of course, I will share with you some project about inclusion and diversity and what we understand and how we work with this topic with young people that are part of our organization. And of course, the very important experience to share with all of you is how our organization will grow up and make this long path in the field in Albania, but even working in different level within using the program of Erasmus Plus, or youth program that it used to be, and now is Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity course. So and impact, I will focus in the presentation impact that it was in the local community in different levels. But it was not been so bright always. We had a lot of challenges and success. So I will try to summarize and share some of those with all of you. Okay, so it was 17 years ago when we started. It was in 2003 in December when we have some people with disability and without disability. And we made a sport activity. And after this sport activity, so bringing people with disability and without disability, we decided we need to create an organization which will work for both these people with disability and other people. Because in that time, it was in Albania not so much promoted the social model of disability. It was mostly this medical model when young people with disability, all the type of disability, they were not visible at all in the society. So they were isolated in their home. They were association which work in disability field, but they were not kind of cooperating. So as young people, we wanted to do something different and unique. And that's why Beyond the Barriers was created in 2004 in June. We managed to build up officially to register the organization. And for us has been we were very lucky that in September 2004, we were selected from Salto to participate in a contact making seminar in Hungary, in Budapest. And in that time it was youth program. So you can imagine how this program even evolved during the time. So we participated. We were totally new organization. We didn't have experience. We didn't even know what was this program, European program. And we were selected from Salto. I participated. There were even some other organization from Albania. We were 4 participants. We went in contact making seminar. And then where we learned about what was this youth program in the time, what were the opportunity offered for young people, and then we sit down with partners from different parts of Europe, and we projected some ideas for follow-up for future projects. So this is how we started. We're very lucky, and then we found partners for projects. And as I say, it has been very, very good for us, because one of the secrets of our work is the partnership that we created in regional level, in European level, and I will tell you about this later. Regarding our work, what do we do? Well, our main mission is to empower young people and to provide opportunity for them to participate in community life. And when it comes to how we work in different levels, and especially now after accumulating so much experience. So we work in local level, and mostly we are focused in Tirana. For this, we do various activities, seminars, trainings, campaign, a lot of other activities. But as well, we work in national level. So we work almost in all Albania with different projects, because we are a project, we are an association which operate with various projects. And I can mention here that in national level, we were one of those associations which asked for a youth law, and then we even push the process together with other organizations, and especially with Albanian Youth Congress. And as well, we work so much in the regional level. And when I say the regional level, is Western Balkan region. And we have mostly worked with Council of Europe in project for human rights education. And now with RICO, we have a big project for volunteerism. And what is very important is the European level, when we work with, especially with Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps. Our main targets are young people, but we have a special focus in youngsters with disadvantages. When we started, it was youngsters with a disability, but then we saw a lot of interest from other youngsters, so we enlarged a little bit our scope of including, accepting other young people to be part of association, to be part of our activities. We work in different fields. And we have some different pillars in our organization, which we are focused. We have volunteering, and we are a leading organization about volunteering in Albania. And this is thanks to the participation in Erasmus Plus and in European Solidarity Corps. So we work with volunteerism in local level, national, regional, and European level. Then we have a pillar about human rights, and mostly we work with human rights education approach of Council of Europe. So we have done a lot of projects in that topic: active citizenship and participation with 4 dimensions of citizenship: political, economical, social, and culture. And lately we are working so much with innovation and digitalization. We want to put this approach in our work because it's the future. And as well, we have inclusion and diversity, even because our organization was created for that. Employment and entrepreneurship, we have some experience in the regional level, in European level, and all of this, it has to do with youth work. And this is even a project that we are initiating now in order to make the...
Sorry, Anna, we lost you for a brief moment.
Well, we have in our association young people which are with different age, different education, sexual orientation, gender, national origin. For us, it's not important. It's important that they all are in our activities. We do activities and we plan activities with them. So for us, consulting with all of these target groups that I mentioned and do activities with young people, for young people and by young people, this has been one of our core values in all of our projects. So it's very important. We don't do projects just for making and applying or implementing projects, but it's important what the young people that we have in association, they share their opinions. It's interesting for us because in the statute of our association, we have members, and those are persons who are members of our assembly, and they have they're part of decision making. But then in the same time, we have activists, and there are those young people who help us in everyday activity, and they participate in our activities. And absolutely they have an impact on what they do in the community, but even they get this personal and social development. And we have volunteers which help us. They are young people which help us in everyday life. So while we plan this project in inclusion and diversity, especially that we are focused, and I will explain a bit later what some examples, it's important to have all of this perspective and young people that we involve. Well, for us, inclusion and diversity, it has to do with empowering, absolutely. Diversity is about empowering people by appreciating what makes them different. And this is very important for us, to equip youngsters with knowledge, skills, attitudes, and to positively influence their surrounding and help them in making better personal decisions. Then for us, each member, each activist, they put a diverse set of perspective work and life experience and culture differences. So this is for us the power of the diversity. And when it comes to inclusion, well, inclusion for us is a sense of belonging, because this is why Even Beyond the Barriers was created in the beginning. So for us, the process of inclusion, it's crucial, and it means engagement. It means people feel valued, and then enhance creativity and productivity on the project that we do. And of course, we try to put quality in everything that we do, trying to let young people to initiate, lead, to support quality developments, everything which has to do with youth work, but of course, providing expertise from the people, from the staff of organization, which is trained, and then following all these phases of project. For us, inclusion and diversity means offering equal opportunities. So offering support, offering means to express their spirit of initiative and space to youngsters from all of these groups. So, so both elements are very important. And of course, when we say working in the European, especially in the European field, it is very important because all of these projects, they have the diversity within. It's this intercultural dimension that is always that we work with. What we concretely do in some projects in inclusion and diversity, we work with children with disabilities, and we have almost 11 years now. There are different institutions and NGOs that we cooperate. I can provide you some examples. It's a special school in Tirana. They are studying children with intellectual disabilities, and we send volunteers there to do volunteer work, to do art activities, sport activity, culture. So this is one of our main programs. But as well, we cooperate with other other association or institution in Tirana about their working in disability. Then we have worked and we have project about the inclusion of young people from rural areas. In Tirana, we are lucky because we have a big association, very good association working, but that not so much in other towns. Absolutely, they exist, and now the last year's situation is very improved. So we're happy for that. And this is a component that we always wanted to work, and we worked with that. So including youngsters from small towns, from rural areas, offering an opportunity for them to be part of programs and various projects. Another project that we are implementing the last 2 years is promoting rights of young people from LGBT communities, of sexual minorities, building capacities of youth from this community, because it's still a big taboo to talk about sexual minorities in Albania. And this is in cooperation with an association which is called OMSA in Albania and some association from Netherlands. So it's an ongoing project. As well, we work in community engagement, and this has been different projects, even in cooperation with other associations, and not only our youngsters, but cooperating with other partners organizations. Then when it comes to impact about Erasmus Plus and European Solidarity Corps, well, for us has been very essential all the support that we have got from this both projects. We started, actually, I need to share with you, today is 29 of April, and our first international youth program, it was called Erasmus in that time, it was in 2006, 29 of April, 4th of May. So we hosted in Tirana the first international contact making seminar. And that is where we invited 30 representatives of 30 youth associations from Europe and the Balkan. And they came in Tirana and we did this contact making seminar, and we make a lot of projects from follow up. I tell you a secret, from that seminar, we still have 4, 5, I think, partner organizations that we still cooperate. So it's 15 years today from the seminar that we hosted in Tirana, and we are very proud about that. Has been the most interesting experience, especially for me. I was directing in that time this, but has been even a very let's say a lot of challenges to organize and to manage all of this activity with 30 youth representatives from all over Europe. And at that time, we didn't have the experience that we have now. So then in the same time, in 2006, we were sending volunteers. In that time, it was not the quality label, so you could participate in the program. And again, it's 15 years for us to send volunteers. That was our first involvement in European voluntary service, or that was in that time. What we do into the, I will just explain some of the topics that we work in Erasmus Plus. Okay, there were a lot of projects that we participated, our youth workers, our leaders, activists, in volunteering. And this has been a really great impact, because when we started, we didn't know anything about volunteering. And then all of these young people who got trained in volunteering, they came back and they put the experience in the local level. So this is how this transferring know-how from association which had a lot of experience transferred to us by multiplying effect from youngsters that we send or youth leaders that we send in trainings of Erasmus Plus in youth in that time. So this is how we got experience, and now being the leading organization in volunteering in Albania. Culture and intercultural learning, absolutely, this has been an amazing topic, because in all the projects implemented in European level, through Youth in Action, Erasmus Plus, all of that, they have that intercultural dimension in it. So talking about other culture, being open, talking about interculture, multicultural and intercultural society, and intercultural learning for young people. So it's very important. And this was, again, taking knowledge from these activities in the European level, and then putting the knowledge into the local level. About youth participation, absolutely, all of the youngsters that participated, they're more open-minded towards why youth participation is important, why youth should be agent of change into the community. And human rights education has been, human rights in general, and using this approach of Council of Europe has been very important for us. We started with that in 2007. We implemented a training course in human rights education in Durrës in Albania. And then from that time and on, our youngsters got trained, and then they did a lot of other activities in human rights. Okay. And okay, some of, I'll just to talk with some, let's say, concrete initiatives. I told you that we send young people for train in different activities in volunteerism. And then in national level, we started a pilot project while we tested a volunteering scheme. And it comes out that it was very successful. So in 2011, we opened the first local volunteer center in Tirana. And as I said, all experience was taken from our leaders who went in other activities in Europe or in other Balkan countries. And this is something that we're still working in. I remember that even when we started, we didn't have a clue of what was voluntary, how to foster it, how to promote it in local level. But this experience was built a little bit and a little bit. Another project that is ongoing, it's a gamifying, it's a project about human rights education, learning through human rights education and learning human rights through gaming. And this is a project that was not led by Beyond the Barriers, but was led from a Serbian organization. They were teaching our youngsters and our leaders how to make to use gamifying in the youth work approach. So then we got trained from this association, and then we put that in the local level. So what we did here, it's a big project in the national level when young people were trained. You hear me?
Yes.
We hear
Okay.
only your video froze
for a moment, and then I thought if you are following me. So what we did, we engaged young people from different schools of Albania, and we trained them for. So I was saying about gamifying and human rights education. So what we did in this project, we trained young people, and they invented these games which has to do with human rights, and then we test it with a lot of young people, and now then we print it and produce it. So for the moment, it was supposed that we work with schools, but because of pandemic situation, we interrupted somehow, but we will continue. So putting these board games that we produced into schools in the national level. So this is something that we are going to work on that. Another project, it's about peace and reconciliation, is an Erasmus Plus project that we are working, and it's still in implementation ongoing, is fostering youth participation to take part in the peace and reconciliation process. And there are different phases of this project. Is research done in Western Balkan countries and Croatia, plus it's some training courses, so blending mobility and local level. It's a policy brief that we have conducted, and then some activities with schools. So because we always have to this cross-sectorial cooperation with schools, with other municipalities or other partners. And then this project, Theater of the Oppressed, again has been a direct impact of the Erasmus Plus project that we have implemented or was implemented by our partners, and we were participating as Beyond the Barriers, and our youth workers, they were trained and then bring this methodology in Albania. This was a project financed from our Ministry of Culture, and we have done even a small manual for teachers how to use this forum theater of the oppressed methodology, how to use it at schools, and how young people can work with this. Okay, next slide, please. Just wanted to share with you this big project that we are doing, again, from volunteering. You can go in the next slide. And it's called Volunteerism, Volunteerism Pikala. And if you, it's a project that we are implementing now, and we are doing a big research in volunteerism to see from the qualitative and quantitative point of view what young people, what organization, what institution think about volunteerism. It's something that it's not existing a research like this in Albania, and we are doing that now. In May, we will present the results in a big conference that we will organize here in Albania. And as well, we are drafting the policy brief on volunteerism, the first ever one for Albania, and we have a law on volunteerism which is not functional at all. So what we are doing is we are making now effort, and we are coordinating with other partners in order to improve the law of volunteerism in Albania and to make it functional. for the first time as well, we are making all our best to create the first national digital platform on volunteerism, when young people can register there, and then institution, organization can make the matching with their skills and their profile of work. And this is something which will be ready, let's say, in end of this year. And of course, this is not only providing information or promoting volunteerism, but offering support and raising the capacities of organization to do volunteer work. So what we do are offering trainings and capacity building in volunteer management cycle for those who provide volunteerism because it needed, and it's something that organization in Albania, but even institution, they do not have experience. And this project that I told you about gamifying, it's was called Fair Play, and it involves 610 young people and 12 teachers. So they were directly engaged through all the projects. So training first, it was in 4 high schools in 5 cities of Albania, and then it had been a mistake, 5 high schools actually, and 28 youngsters trained about human rights education and gaming, so that they were young people who invented those games. And then at the end, we produced 4 board games created and printed, which could be used for the in the future as well. And of course, we registered the trademark Super Mes Lawyers, which is learned through gaming. And we have it that exclusivity of Beyond the Barriers. Then if you go in the next slide, I don't see it, but I hope others are seeing that. It's the impact in local community of European Solidarity Corps. So, well, we start to send volunteers, as I said, in 2006. It was an inclusion project in that time. It was about sending people with disability. We sent 2 people in Denmark with physical disability, and then it was 2 people in Romania. So that was our first ever project, and then we continue by sending till 2011, when we felt ready to host volunteers. So all these youngsters that we send abroad in those projects, they came back and they put the experience that they got there in different associations, and they put it in the service of the community. And from 2011 up to now, we have hosted more than 220 volunteers young volunteers from European countries. And if you go in the next slide, what the volunteers were doing, they work in schools of Tirana and even in other cities, but mostly focused in Tirana, and they were doing the promotion of volunteer work. And this has been very fantastic experience, because as we say, the volunteering issue was not so much, topic was not so much developed. And we even had in Albania this bad connotation because of communism, and people didn't see the volunteering as something that could help community or their self, but they see that as a kind of obligated work. So that was something we work a lot to change that mentality, and now it's different. So for us, young people who came from Europe, Europeans, they provided really an example, a model for all of these Albanian youngsters to participate in volunteer activities. I can share again a small detail here. When we say to young people, like motivating, telling why volunteering is good, they were very inspiring and ready to jump in. But when we say to them that you have to work with young people with disability, with other institutions, for example, visually impaired people or people with intellectual disability, they were kind of step back, because they were like, yeah, but you know, I would like to do something else. And they were that fear about, they didn't know how to approach somehow to people with disability. But this didn't happen with youngsters from Europe. And we created kind of a project that they work together in team. And it really, really helps. And the youngster from Europe serve as inspiration for Albanian youngsters. And when they were saying like, okay, these are young people from Europe coming in Tirana working, then we have to do something for local communities. So it's been really inspiring. Okay, if you go in the next slide, what volunteers have done, they've done promotion of volunteerism. They were using non-formal education methods, going in schools in an hour that was 45 minutes, but sometimes it lasted much more. And they were trying to promote volunteerism and to tell to young people what are the benefits, what are values of volunteerism, and then how they can get engaged, because we even have programs that young people could engage. Something that I can share here was that we did really a big promotion in schools, but then we understood that sometimes everybody was coming and we couldn't afford all of this work and all of this youngster coming. So we were a bit then we learned, it was learning by doing this, learning by experience, that this big promotion, we tried to put other youngsters in other organizations to direct, because it was impossible from the capacities that we have to manage all of these volunteers. From the local level. Then inclusion, people with disabilities. As I said, we have worked with a special school, but we will work with other institutions that are working with different types of disabilities. And then we did a lot of activities, especially young volunteers from Europe, EVS volunteers in youth participation. So doing training, doing activity, organizing activities in the local level for with youngsters from schools, from a lot of activities, as well in the intercultural learning, because in all of our projects that we have applied and implemented here, intercultural dimension, intercultural learning was very important, because they were youngsters from different cultures. And then if you see the next slide, it's I put some numbers there. Volunteering promotion in high schools, and mostly as I said, has been in Tirana. Like 10,000 young people participated in workshop, and this has been the last 7 years. And 50 schools have been involved. So we have volunteers, with national volunteers and European volunteers going in schools and making promotion, raising awareness about volunteerism. They did video, they did testimonies, they did various activities to promote volunteerism. Working with children with intellectual disabilities. We, as I said, we have working there from 2010 and up to now. For the moment, we have 2 Italian volunteers hosted, no matter of pandemic. They arrived in last September and they are still doing a great job here. Maybe not putting them in risk and putting in the local community. So still they are doing volunteer work. And for the moment, I wanted to share with you is an experience that we tried for the first time in Beyond the Barriers. It's we would like to make a greenhouse for the school, for the special school, because having this greenhouse for 127 children with disability, it's not only about teamwork, getting out of the school context, but it is about a therapeutic issue for them. So if they will have flowers there or even some vegetables, is this therapy for them, but even to work together in the team and to use this a bit of not formal tools, because it's a school and there is the school system. So we want to build this green house now, and we open a campaign and in GoFundMe. So maybe if you would like to provide us any kind contribution, or even to share with your networks, we would appreciate it a lot, because we will do this. Absolutely, we'll find a way to do this greenhouse for these kids. And then we had activities in local level. So youngsters participated in our activities with other local organization or institution. They were various activities that they organized. As I said, we sent around 150 youngsters, and we have it here hosted around 220 volunteers in Tirana. Well, when it comes to the challenges and success, is the next slide. It's not okay. I am very enthusiastic when I say about our experience, but it has been a lot of challenges in our path. It was challenges because the team, especially the executive, but even the board. So both this both structure, we always cooperate together and we are in close contact every time. We had a lot of inspiration and motivation in the beginning, but we didn't have the expertise. So if there is something that managed to bring success in our organization, it was transferring know-how of the partners, of the experience, and our participation in European programs. So thanks to these European programs, Youth in Action, Erasmus+, European Solidarity Corps now, we got all the experience from the partners and we multiplied that in the local level. As well, people know that working in the youth field, it's not easy. And this has to do with sustainability of organization. Working with small projects, not with big projects, it's always a challenge. So they can be very nice experience doing this activity, implementing, but then when it comes to sustainability, it's a bit difficult. So this has been a big challenge for us. Okay, maybe not anymore now in the last years when we are more stable with the project and even with the strategic planning that we do. But in the beginning has been really hard for us, and we work voluntarily, all of the staff, the board, in order to build all of this path. Sometimes a challenge that we met, it was failure with partnership, because when you meet a representative of different organizations face to face is different, and when you just meet them in social networks, it's different. So sometimes this has been a challenge, and this helps us to choose carefully the partners and to talk with them, to prepare very hard with them, because if we prepare, then the success is guaranteed. This is a lesson that we received from our experience. Another challenge, big challenge for Beyond the Barriers is we never been politically associated or affiliated. And this, we are very proud of that we manage that in 17 years of Beyond the Barriers to have only funds from government, 15,000 euros, which is really small of our budget, but that make us really independent organization. And but in the same time, this is kind of penalizing us for not getting money, but we are proud and we like the position that we have in the civil society. We have a youth law now that it articulates quite well non-formal education and youth work, and not the role of youth worker. So it's from 2019 and now. So you can imagine what difficulties we had in Albania while we work, when this non-formal education or youth work was not recognized. So now, absolutely, we have provided input and our expertise with the ministries, with all of these institutions responsible for that. So we put our expertise in order that this youth law got implemented now. And partly because it's our success, we're very proud of that. What has been the success? Absolutely motivation and spirit of the team, of young people, of activists, volunteers. This is the most element which made us successful in this field. As well, we have been contact point from 2011, and we provided support to other organizations. Even this has been an experience which increased, which grow up with us. So we offer support for our experience to other Albanian organizations to get into this program, European program, to apply and to get to raise their capacities. Partnership, as I said, has been really a great element for our success. Partnership with organizations from Albania, from Western Balkan, from European country. And now we are recognized in the national structure. So they call us, they ask for expertise. Many times they listen to us, sometimes they don't listen to us, but this is how it's going, the process. And of course, I think there is a great impact that we have done in inclusion and development of youth work in Albania. And we have got even some awards, like the best organization or the best organization for volunteering. And we got recognized, and this is a success for us. Okay, I think I got more than the time that I was supposed to have. So maybe some questions. Thank you.